Welcome, everyone. This is Palimpi News, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin,
Hi.
Sanswinda,
Hello.
Berendis,
Good evening, everyone.
and Calabathian.
I have pie.
You have
Yay.
pie.
Pie.
As in the type you eat, I guess?
Well, yes. Otherwise, everyone would have pie because pie is just a number and it's not really owned by anyone.
All right, I suppose you got a point there.
Pie are squared, cake or round.
Cakes can be square too.
Rectangular.
It's math. Hush. You leave
Let's
my
head in-
mnemonics out of this.
Let's head into our new player question for. Let's head into our game news for this week, where we will begin with on Monday. The servers will be brought down for update 28.3.1, and we already have release notes for that. It's been released on February 1st. And for cosmetic pets will no longer break stealth. Your cosmetic stats are very sneaky. Even a baby Mumak?
Apparently.
Even that pig with fireworks?
Game launcher. Correcting an issue with the game launcher that was preventing some unpatched Windows 7 and earlier operating systems to not be able to update the game client.
You don't need to update the game client. It's all crap anyway right now.
I'm just, as a Mac user, I'm just irritated because it's like, okay, we have people who never patched Windows 7, and I understand if they don't like Windows 10, but never patched Windows 7, and we're going to fix something for them, but we can't get a decent way for Mac users to use the game where we can update our OS systems. Just had to say that.
Or a decent LI system.
Starting to salt early here.
Or a decent LI system. I mean, come on.
Let's go into our housing then. Suppliers, provisioners, healers, and ambience furniture and housing brokers should now give appropriate vendor discounts based on your housing passive skills in Rohan housing neighborhoods.
Yay!
And the supplier summoned with the Gondorian supplier horn housing decoration should now give the appropriate vendor discounts, the highest discount from any of your housing passive skills, including Belfalis and Rohan houses. The heavy armor item, Winter Tusk Hide Helmet, now offers might instead of agility.
Oh, joy.
And the medium armor item, Winter Tusk Hide Helmet, now offers agility instead of might. Now, I'm sure Sanswinda is going to complain about people using the hide of Winter Tusks in order to make helmets, though.
Well, I would prefer to use them, like, to ride on them, but since they still haven't given us that option and occasionally they get killed, I suppose that's a good use of it.
Okay. Now comes more legendary item stuff. The Dole Amroth Quartermaster will offer Scrolls of Empowerment max tier 59 for 15 Amroth silver pieces instead of Scrolls of Empowerment max tier 44 for 20 Amroth silver pieces. Is this identical to...
Yep.
Okay, this is word for word identical to what I read out last week?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. I think you just saved my breath.
Yeah, these are the proposed changes that they still haven't actually put in yet because they weren't important enough to rush through blah, 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 like, the other changes were. Interesting to note that this also includes a PVMP change, which apparently wasn't important enough to put through, but kind of important. I mean, at least one of them.
Well, it depends. What do you mean by when did you expect it to come out that would make you think it was important enough to go put through?
Well, I mean, they were talking about doing it last week, but no.
Well, that's because they found an issue when they were trying to do it last week, but there was an issue that prevented an updated release last week.
You mean that
Mhm.
issue being it sucks?
No. No, that doesn't
They
seem to be preventing it from going forward.
yeah, because they already went forward with the "it sucks" part.
Okay. Anyway, for PvMP, creep core stats have had their range compressed. The difference between a core stat that was 1 to 5 is now 2 to 4. Creep side corruptions now grant less BPE and modestly less physical mitigation. Creeps will need to use more corruptions to achieve particularly tanky values.
Was that even ever possible on a creep? I don't think so.
Ish.
Just to say, I'm going to presume that's going to feel worse because I didn't really feel tanky in the first place.
Yes. War Leader on your feed has been reverted to a non-warband effect.
Yes, yay! So this is the War Leader Res, which apparently War Leaders, since they pushed through the update because they needed to get through the really sucky update. This is the War Leader Res, but because they made it so that all of the creep heals that were area of effects can only be used outside of the could only be used in a warband. War Leaders can't res anybody that's not in a group with them currently on the Moors because it's an AoE res. It's not a heal, it's a res, but
Right.
it got impacted by that change.
That's-
Basically, War Leaders were pouting all over the Moors, and I kind of don't blame them because the rest of the creeps were too. Because so we have one effective res class right now on the Moors because they needed to get through the really crappy update without more testing.
Oh well. So I guess though it might be better to say the War Leader on your feet skill might be more appropriate.
Yes.
War Leader, Slick Flesh and Quitters Never Win has been changed to a warband effect.
Yeah, that's probably the skill that they meant to have changed, and they did the wrong one.
Oh,
But if you give more testing on Borer instead of just shoving it through.
oh
These
well,
things might be taught.
the freaks were complaining. For
They
quest
still
and
complain.
yes, quest and adventure areas, the following quests will now be available twice per week rather than just once per week, with resets on Thursday and Sunday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, protecting the Bjornings, protecting the elves, and protecting the woodmen.
Whoa, whoa.
Gandalf is no longer floating in pre-battle Minas Tirith.
He's a wizard. What if he were?
Fixes for some floating and buried resource nodes in Rohan. Fixed an issue with some stairs in the gates of Gundabad. Some French and German translations have been updated. I think they could use that same sentence in just about every update, I think, because and fixed an issue where the quest Elder Slate Supply Packs was asking you to turn in the quest to the wrong NPC.
That's only a problem if you can actually make the Elder Slade supply packs.
Yes, that is a little bit of a problem. I don't think
I'm
I've
sorry.
had anyone finish that quest yet.
I'm still stuck on Gandalf floating. All I can think is, you're a wizard, Gandalf.
Out of curiosity, is there anyone who's actually finished Elder Slate Supply Packs?
I'm sure
I-
there probably are because apparently, well, we'll get to shards later, but apparently you can get them, and so I don't know, maybe people are using them. I haven't got any, so no.
Yeah.
I used my Elder Slate supply packs to barter for the pocket item. I was not going to waste them for turning them in for things that I get in other quests already.
Okay, that makes sense.
I used mine on LI stuff so far.
I think
'cause
I've
you can
gotten
get the
exactly-
new titles and new crafted relics.
If I remember correctly, I got mine. Oh, that's right. I got mine for what was a portrait frame? Yes, I believe I got one, so I used it for a portrait frame because that's all I could do with it. And then that's it for the release notes. Also of note is that world transfers are once again available, but we still don't have the transfers open for the old worlds. They are still working on that. But I think this was some background work that they needed to do before they could open them up on the other one. They say they are getting closer to opening up
Yeah, they
the
say
old
that.
worlds,
About
but
me.
yes, but I still say don't hold your breath, right?
I'm not holding my breath because the only one that I'm interested in is, hey, can we transfer from European servers yet? No? Okay, then. I'm keeping on going. Look at me breathing.
Yeah,
Not
I will
holding my breath.
say that being able to transfer from the European servers to the US servers, the odds of that ever happening are worse than having a good LI system.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Then let's head into the LOTRO Beacon issue 190. And this... Oh boy, I can't even remember the name of that stupid Angrim village that gives me shivers every time I pass by it. All right, I'm blanking out the name of that place, but all right.
Oh, Kavatsar?
Yeah, Kavatsar. Yes, that place. Yes, I think that's where that's from, I presume.
I'm pretty sure with
Yeah.
I think that's Muta.
Oh, her.
You know, Miss try to blend in with this gathering. No.
Let's head into the community spotlight. Hala recently put together a lovely tribute to LOTRO. You can watch the video on their YouTube channel. And Ponton Finberry recently resurrected an older blog post on LOTRO Players News looking at the best YouTube videos about LOTRO of all times. These videos are still amazing. So if you haven't seen them, you can find the post and talk about it on the forums. And that's where they were talking about Andang's old post about the top 25 LOTRO videos. So that's was
Yeah.
several years back.
I bet we've
23.
gotten plenty more since then.
Yes. We have to get somebody to update it.
Good luck with that.
Yes, good luck with that. Because you need someone who watches through all 25 of those videos and then do a full search of enough newer videos in order to see which ones may potentially make the cut. Louis 7 has created a quick video look at all classes and specializations in the game, and you could watch the characters in action on his YouTube channel. And now for our weekly comment. If you could visit Middle-earth in real life, where is the first place you would visit?
Dol Amroth.
Either Rivendell or Lothlorien. As if I
Would
could
be my
actually
second
get
choice.
into Lothlorien because I'd be shot on the border because those
Yeah.
elves don't play.
Well, it would depend on the time of day, because if it was around lunchtime, then I would definitely want to go to the Shire because food.
Yeah. No.
I'm
Yeah,
not really sure it matters. I mean, unless it matters to you whether you have lunch in the Shire. I think that the food is available all the time, isn't it?
They
Well,
are
yeah, but I
hobbits.
mean, like if it's time to go sleeping, you'd want to go sleep like in Lothlorien out under the stars or something, or sightseeing in Dol Amroth.
Well, as for Lothlorien, unfortunately, it feels like Loftlorien, where you're likely to step off a
I-
flit and fall
I
down.
don't roll around a lot when I sleep. I think I'll be fine.
Okay. All right, that's good to
There's a lot
hear.
of stairs though, and they have to be.
There's no stairs.
Well, they are
It's
on the
all a
ground, but I
ramp.
guess that's in Galadriel's
It's ramps or
area.
ladders.
It's ramps
Yeah.
or ladders. There's no stairs.
There are some.
Ladder. Yeah. I think I'll be all right. I just have
True,
a
but they're on the
problem with.
ground. You don't have to worry about falling.
Yeah. Yeah, I should be
Well,
good.
I mean,
I should be good.
I think I'd rather stay at Imladris than Lothlorien.
I don't know,
Well, that was my
man. Those
first.
bridges like to just toss you off.
Well, then you'll have to
are you
walk
sure?
over bridges.
Are you sure it isn't the worst steed you're trying to ride across it?
Well, I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? Just for the
That's
record, I
into
don't
our fans.
usually war steed in Rivendell because it almost always ends up swim in the river.
Okay, here's a crazy deep cut. Remember the instance where you go and find the scion of the white tree before Aragorn is crowned?
Mhm.
And you have that great view up above Minas Tirith on that platform. I'd like to go there in real life and look down over Minas Tirith and the Pelennor and out towards the mountains towards Mordor, and yeah,
That would be cool.
Preferably after the repairs have been made.
preferably when there's less orcs around. Yes,
And make sure that you have some kind of leash on Sans if you have her with her, because you'll be looking around and it'll be like, this is really nice. And then she'll go like, well, gun jump.
Banzai!
Because it's Sans. If it's there to jump, she's going to jump.
No, Sans will want to go to Harad to see if she can find any Moomoks.
Ooh, I might be able to get a Moomock ride. That would be really
Yes.
cool.
I was totally expecting Gwai to say, wherever Jajax
He went
is.
off with his brother. God knows where I'd end up if I followed him.
Umbar.
Isn't that kind of
Well,
interesting?
we would
though?
presume that he went back home, but who knows? Knowing him, he's probably in a bar somewhere.
This is true.
We are straight up going to ride back to the Shire in at the end of this, and Jajax is going to be in a bar in the Shire, and you're going to be like, "What?"
That would make my day.
That would be hilarious.
Welcome to the Green Dragon.
How did you get here? Well, they put in these new like riverside docks along something called the Brandywine.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, those have made travel so much fun, though.
Yeah, we first have to figure out what they're gonna do, what they do with those things. Yes.
Well, you talk to them, and then you travel to places.
I'll have to visit
Yes.
them at some point.
When you're doing your burglar class quest, it's great to get really fast back and forth
To Bookland.
from Angmar and and points beyond.
Sam would like to know if Jajax will be dressed in a Hobbit woman dress.
Probably, and it will probably be pink.
Probably be pink.
Trying to blend in, but he's
Only
twice the size of anyone there.
I was gonna say only if Emerlina got a hold of him first.
This is true.
Then it would be Shire Plum Pink.
To fit in with the Shire.
Of course.
Of course.
Help him blend in
He's
some
a
more.
flower among men.
Let's head into the fan site news. A hashtag feature on YouTube has become a great way to find German language LOTRO videos. You could check it out on YouTube. LOTRO Players News we had the latest news and more. 393 once again.
Didn't even touch the Elf Surfer Dudes title, man. So disappointed.
Touch it. And I thought they would have said LOTRO Players News go surfing or something like that.
We should just call this week the latest news and more.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not.
Oh boy, I could just imagine Drax's reaction
I'm
to
putting
that
it in the
one.
options right now.
LOTRO Stream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, Glenn and Ori find a lonely heart. Eldaleth quests an elder
That's
slate,
disturbing.
and
Was it just sitting out in the middle of nowhere? This person's heart? I
It's
would
very
contact
lonely.
the authorities.
Everybody's always asking, can't we leave a body alone? This is what happens when you leave a body alone, you guys.
Well, it's either that or you have to buy some dwarf's beard.
Actually, I'm
Why
pretty sure they
Doran's
spelled
beard?
it Hart, so like the deer type of heart.
Oh,
well,
fair.
it's spelled in the show notes as Heart. I mean, in
Oh,
the
In the
beacon.
beginning, yes, I know, but I'm pretty sure that when I saw the title pop up in my email, it was Hart.
Ah, okay.
This might
Oh,
be an
lonely
autocorrect.
A lonely deer. A deer. A lonely female deer.
You are right. It is spelled in the video as Hart. So a typo in the beacon. And Schematic heads into Mordor besieged. Also on Twitch, Bloodborne Deeds, Granddad plays on Laurelin, and French Girl Gaming goofs around on Honor. And over on YouTube, Dragonfly Mage has some Shire ambience, and Brigzilla brings an all Captain Raid, and Renfail does hobbity things. And our
So
screenshot.
eating, fishing, complaining about the weather.
And for our screenshot of the week, Valkyrik sent in several lovely screenshots chronicling recent adventures. And in this screenshot is from a social gathering in this week's screenshot of the week. Thanks, Valkyrik, for sending in this week's screenshot. Submit your screenshot by sending it to LOTRO at sandstonegames.com. And, well, that's a lovely place to be playing music in the middle of the snow. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the whole group of people in Moria yesterday. Randomly, everyone doing the encore drumming in the middle of the 21st hall. Just random. And it kept getting like a bigger and bigger group, and it was just like, dude, what? And then Terry running through them on her goat because you're in the way. But, yeah, multiple times. And then they kind of dispersed. It's like, dude.
Anyway.
Like, I'm usually the one saying, don't be a jerk and let these people have their space, but I was not having any of it yesterday.
Anyway, I will say that the weather they show here is not an opportunity to use your best instruments.
Only in LOTRO.
Only in LOTRO, yeah. As in real life, I don't think anyone would use their top-end instruments while it's snowing. And that concludes the LOTRO Beacon. So let's head into our store sales. Terry Edwin, what's on sale this week?
Well, our weekly coupon is a +5 attack damage times 25 for 90 minutes. But I have plenty of those already in my bag thanks to Hobbit presents. And we get 20% off quest packs, 100% XP boosts, Mithril coins, and max morale and power scrolls now through February 4th.
Well then, LOTRO Players this week is brought to us by Diamond Crystal Salt.
Yeah,
I didn't mess it up this week.
I went looking for another salt vendor.
Okay.
We used Morton salt last week.
Diamond is pretty good.
Yeah, I wanted to find something else. So, 5 minutes
I
on
didn't
Google.
mess it
You're
up
welcome,
this week,
everybody.
Let's then have our new player question. And this week's question was sent in by Glambold. What was the question?
So Glambald said, based on what I said, because I mentioned something last week about turning on assistance in combat, movement assistance in combat, and so Glambald wants to know what game options do you turn on for different classes? Example, combat assistance for melee characters. So not necessarily like how to turn them on. Although that's a good one because you go to your options and you look under combat options, see what all is available. But like, do you have something specific turned on for different characters? And actually, I use the same options for all of my characters. So I use movement assistance in combat because even for ranged characters, it points you in the right direction if you're not already pointed in the right direction and can be helpful.
Though it can
Also,
also turn you around and cause you to shoot a random mob if your skill fires late, so be careful.
yes, if you're not careful what you have targeted when your skills are going off. And then skill target forwarding is another one that I typically have turned on.
I typically have those, and for my Ringkeeper, I make the attunement panel small. Because it puts it in the same place that the focus bar or the, what is it, the Champions Build Fervor? It puts the meter in that same spot, which I'm already used to looking at, so that's something that I do for my Ringkeepers.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Now I have to look for that. Actually, one of the other things I thought about is I typically turn off for my characters who aren't going to be doing any kind of healing whatsoever. So, like all my champions, you can actually disable the thing that shows statuses under everybody's names when you're in a group, which eliminates a lot of screen clutter if you don't need to look at it for whatever reason. You can also limit it to just show things that are curable or things like that.
Yeah, so
but I
that
turn all that stuff off
okay.
for everybody other than me because I'm the only one I care about for that stuff.
I leave it on for my selection as well, like so that if I need to like select somebody, I can see like did they already apply scrolls and buffs when I joined this group, or what is this person using for light oil or fire oil or whatever. I like to be able to check somebody's for that without cluttering up my whole screen sometimes. But I usually only turn those off if I'm having bad lag and I'm trying to reduce it.
I don't think I do anything special with options. I definitely use the same options for everybody's.
Well, being a hunter, I have target forwarding on, and I always ask somebody who I know is going to be more like the tank to put up the target assist window, so I know to try to focus on what they're focusing on and not pull the aggro to me.
I hope that answers your question. So let's head into our week in gaming. Calabathian, what were you up to?
Like I'm fixing to say something important. Okay. First of all, Celevorn continues chasing max tier 59 scrolls of Minas Tirith. And his last two legacies for the bow as well. We don't talk about the sword because I messed up on the sword. It's gonna have to wait a little while. But yeah, I am kind of just banking on those so that I can do what I can with what I have. Like everything else in life at this time. The Academy may or may not have started startled, a random player in Moria by appearing one at a time from a campfire all at once around them. So yeah, the campfire just kind of started spitting people out, and they were standing there. And then, like 7 of us started running, and this person was running, and I was like, could you just imagine being this guy? He's just out in the middle of Moria alone, and the crickets is chirping, and the campfire's roared, and all of a sudden this campfire just starts spitting people out, and they get on like goats and pigs, and they just start going, or they just start running, and it's just like in a group. So apparently we took a raid to Moria to get...
Where was this?
Moria?
Where? Do you remember?
Sands. Where does your character have the... your hunter there? Where did they have
that little...
The
Lama
Great
Doob?
Delving? Is that where it is?
No, it was that campfire Lama
Yeah.
Doob right outside of the Great Delving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yep.
It's down by the you can go off one direction and you find that weird fungus that makes your screen all wonky. And all the garbage.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
just right
campfire by
before.
there.
It's just not far from Dolphin View.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. It was kind of amusing because he started running, and then all of a sudden, like 7 people came out and just, woof, and it's like, ah. And I actually had to buy and use some tortoise stones for Celeborn and Morkendeer so that they wouldn't level cap before getting out of Rohan and the Lowlands, respectively, given they have to keep running dailies and missions for LI related stuff. So they're going to keep on leveling because, like Morkendeer, and I say level cap as in, I'm probably going to be with Morkendeer there until I die. But, because I'm trying to get the starlit crystals and everything. But, yeah, Morkendeer just hit, he's almost level 48. He hasn't completed the Lowlands yet. And,
Well, he's a burglar,
hit
so
115.
I mean,
And
in all fairness, I haven't finished Garth Garwin yet on my level 70 Hobbit Hunter.
So yeah, I was just like, I should probably get a tortoise stone if I even want to pretend to be on level for like any of the stuff I'm doing, especially with Celeborn, since he actually runs with one of Terry's people. And he's already like several levels higher than she is.
yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? Let's just put a moratorium on this leveling thing until I can, get at least back on the road with some of this stuff. But yeah, Gorendus, how about you? How was your week?
Well, mostly did weeklies on Guarindus. Minas Morgul, I was very excited for once in a very, 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 very rare, like more rare than a blue moon event. I actually had a shard drop from some lumber in the harrowing. I was so excited. I got an Ithelhorn shard. I think that's only happened maybe twice in all the times I've been doing that. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, weeklies in Minas Morgul and in Holtvis, decided to go there and check it out since that's going to be one of the new places where you could get level 83. I saw more players in the Holtvis instances the 2 days that I did them this week than I did when I quested through on level. I foresee competition for mobs after Monday's patch because I was rather surprised at how many people were coming through and actually doing that. Definitely made sure today when we were going through Kizulkala and making sure that we didn't kill the final mob until the other person. I was running with Baldric with the captain. I made sure that we didn't kill that last gloom, whatever, down there until the other person we'd seen in there got into the room and had a chance to tag it too. So, train to be nice. Everybody be nice. Don't be jerks. There's going to be competition.
You know it's not going to happen. Everybody's going to be jerks.
I'm an idealist. Leave me alone. Anyway, I want to quote Will Wheaton's rule for the internet for being on the internet, but it's not Pinely friendly. But anyway, otherwise, I spent my time. Well, I leveled a Stamina Nightblade in ESO to level 24, and honestly. A lot of it's been from crafting and then just like fighting mobs or whatever when I was sneaking around the landscape. I did kill a world boss with somebody else because I came around a corner and was like, oh crap! And they had a volatile familiar and a nice lightning staff. And I thought, okay, I'll sneak out of stealth and help. And yeah, so at least I killed one world boss with somebody. That was kind of a thing. But yeah,
what's a
mostly.
World boss?
If you look at your map and there's a skull and crossbones,
Oh, those things?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that you
those things.
usually want to sneak around. I thought I was sneaking around the right way, but I it narrowed more around that building than I thought it was going to. And when I hopped over, there was a fight right there because they had been fighting and drug him over towards that without realizing I think I was back there because I was in stealth because Nightblade. So I thought, okay, I'm here, and I just got bapped. I might as well help. Yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, mostly just clearing out all the surveys that you get when you're crafting for more materials. I've seen so much of Tamriel without doing any real questing there, but it's really pretty. It's really nice. I do have 2 other characters in ESO that have made level 19. That's one that's playing in a duo. And then I have a level 15 Magica Nightblade who is hero Bleak Rock now, Bleak Rock Island. They're doing real questing, but they're in 2 different alliances. Awkward, because I play the the one that's kind of, I guess, my main, the higher level one, and the one I play in the duo are both from Covenant, and the Magica Nightblade is Ebonheart Pact. Yeah, so I was just in the unenviable position of having to try to fight off the people that my main belonged to in the Ebonheart Pact area. Anyway, yeah. So, Sinzwinda, what did you get up to this week?
Well, this week, one of the most exciting things was I was chased by a floating axe through the Elder Slade battlegrounds. And like, it looked like the axe was like chopping at me as I was running. And Pineleaf had an axe chopping at his character too. And we're like 2 little hobbits running around with these axes that are like twice as long as we are.
You're
swinging
trying to
behind
help!
us.
It was so funny.
Yeah, it looked like the axes were like trying to catch us and finish us off or something. It was really funny. And every
Red
so
rum.
often they would disappear in a cloud of green leaves and then reappear and start chasing us again a few moments later. So yeah, that was fun. A good way to finish helping the Bjornings, I suppose. I don't think that it was supposed to be just an axe chasing me, but maybe it was haunted. And that was like the most fun that I had in Lotro because I really hate that area and I really hated testing out the dailies and I'm really not a fan of the new LI math. So yeah, but the floating axe chasing me was pretty funny. And then I started learning about Mid-Year Mayhem in ESO because that's going on right now. And I got myself some gear with the impenetrable trait and went out to Cyrodiil and was kind of sneaking around looking for something I could maybe repair or do something with. And found somebody like fighting by themselves a bunch of guards. And I was like, maybe I should help the guards. So I like came out of stealth and was promptly killed. It was not a one-shot though because I had the gear with the impenetrable trait. It probably would have been if I didn't. But it was definitely a very one-sided fight, and I went down very fast. And
What's
so,
mid-year mayhem since it's nowhere near the middle of the year?
well, apparently it's a Cyrodiil Battlegrounds PvP event where you gain like double alliance points. And I want the double alliance points for 2 reasons. You can get a cool pet that by the end of the year you can transform into a house for all your characters. Or, which I want. Or you can get, and you can get skill points. So every time you level up in your alliance, you get skill points. So I've gotten like the 2 skill points for doing the intro quest there. And that is all I've gotten. And so I was trying to learn, but, it's gonna take more practice.
Well, if you want help getting killed out of hand, I'll go with you. We'll give it
I
a
would
try.
love help getting killed out of hand. I could even bring a character and we could go in the below level 51 and we might have a better chance.
Here we go.
And then my nephew had been wanting the game Slime Rancher for a while before Christmas, so I found a sale on it and I got it for him. I picked up an extra copy for myself because it was a good sale. And he finally convinced me to play it this week. And it was really cute and fun. It's a single player game, but we played our different games simultaneously, and he helped me not get lost. I was lost almost all the time. But little slimes are really cute. And I started one ranch where I tried to turn them all blue. But then I had another one where there were crystal boom slimes. And the boom slimes kind of explode randomly, which can hurt you. And the crystal slimes kind of leave patches of burning hot crystals. And the combination is really pretty of the crystal boom slimes, but a little bit dangerous. So that was fun. It was a good thing I had water. And that was pretty much my week. How was your week, Terry?
And now everybody's going to learn how much time Terry's had in their hands this week. So I did actually play some LOTRO. More LOTRO than I thought I had. Because as I'm tallying up highlights, I decided to heck with the 3 highlight rule. We have a light week with not a lot of news, especially news we don't really want to talk about. So let's talk about gaming stuff. So yeah, Terry finished helping stupid bears and unlocked dailies for the new area. It sucked. Let me go back to my notes with Sans Window because I had notes that I wanted to talk about.
Yes, it was bad.
About how much it sucks.
I'm not taking my hunter there solo.
Oh, okay. So not only so you unlock the dailies for the landscape, and they don't change the way missions do. So you're basically you have 7 potential quests. You only have to do 4 of them, which is good because I wouldn't want to do all 7 because I still haven't finished 2 of them. In the 2 days that I was out, 3 days that I was out 3 whole days. But day 1, when we unlocked them in Pineleaf and Sands and I ran them as a group, it took us 20, what was it? It was 24 minutes, right?
Yeah, something like that.
24 minutes for 3 of us running around on the landscape to finish those daily quests. Because we timed it. We set a timer. And I did get the last 2 scrolls that I needed for Terry's champion rune. So both of her allies are now maxed. So I technically don't actually have to do any of that crap unless I want to help alts, which I do want to help alts eventually. So the next day, I went out on my own because I was like, well, I should probably see, for science purposes, how horrible it is to try and do it as a solo player. Now, mind you, I'm a solo champion, not raid geared, but decently geared with, maxed allies. And I cannot begin to tell you how much I hate this landscape. I don't think there's anywhere in the game that I've hated the landscape as much as I hate this landscape. Like, ever. Honestly, it wouldn't be so bad if more of the maps were normal, but most of what's out there is signatures in groups. Not a problem for the decently geared champion, but you're talking a death sentence for squishier players.
Yeah, my hunter's not going out solo. She's just not anymore.
Yeah.
It did not end well.
Also, I have a fix for the quest that requires you to pick up a powder keg and go dump it in the enemy's trench, which, by the way, you can't just get to the edge of the trench and be, okay, not done. No, you have to be in the trench full of enemies for this thing to go off. And then when it explodes, it's just a cosmetic explosion. It doesn't actually do damage to all of the crap that you just jumped on top of. So now you have to fight your way clear of 7 things. Because Sans and I ran it again 2 days later, and it was 16 minutes that felt like 16 hours. It was awful. Please don't make us do this over and over and over again for scrolls. It sucks for 2 scrolls.
Yeah, it only gives 2. And they expect us to think this is somehow better than 6.5 from an easier landscape. Ha! I can do math.
Um,
Tell us how you really feel.
and actually, before that happened, see, this is why it was Diamond Crystal Salt this week instead of just Morton. It's the better salt. Actually, before this happened, on Sunday night, I was out with a couple of folks doing some PvMP stuff on the moors, and discovered that Terry Fluffs actually was up over 7,500 combinations, so she was able to get her Audacity up to level 22,
Woo!
which is 3 levels away from capped Audacity, which is pretty stinking awesome for a rank 8 warg. Mostly because I don't spend my comms on anything else, really. I think I bought a couple of corruption traits just so I could swap some stuff around. Pretty happy with the way the build is, but we'll see how it's looking when we get out there on Monday. I think actually after we patch on Monday, we should go play in the moors and see how that change has actually impacted us. Since they didn't give us a round of bull roar testing so that we could check it before they just push it through.
Oh, but then we might notice how it was and give feedback before it went live.
That they wouldn't listen to anyway, so I
Right.
guess it doesn't really matter. Arkenstone Runekeeper with the Academy, I gave up on allies, at least for now. I don't know how long she's actually going to be able to go without them, because I don't know how far the crafted ones go before becoming just an ally option, but we'll see. And she actually ended up taking an unplanned leap, thanks to lag. So we were heading from that campfire at Lamajum up to Chamber of the Crossroads, and instead of going through the Dolphin View, we went up kind of north. And I know that there's an unbroken path that you can take. I just don't actually know the way to get to the unbroken path. But I also know that you can just kind of hop over the gap where the journal is and get that way. And that one I know. So I went there to hop over the gap and lag.
Oh God.
I froze right over the top of the hole. And so I ended up playing in a round circle.
That's not even
I
one
was
for the blind
right
leaper,
behind
darn
her.
alive.
I was right behind her. I saw her go woo, poof, and she was gone. And this is like you
Oh,
defeated. I was like,
They were like,
that
"What did
behind
you
was
do?"
like,
I said,
what happened? Or
"I
someone was like, who got defeated? What happened?
the lag hit me. It was going to be this nice, smooth little jump. Yeah, I don't know what was going on Friday. Lag was really bad all over the game because Sans and I had run into someone we were running in the landscape too. Just weird pockets because nobody else is around us. It's just us and mobs and weird lag pockets. Very strange. Yeah, so but we made it to the 21st hall officially in the epic story, so eventually we'll get to skirmishes. Yay. I also spent some time in ESO remembering how much I kind of really suck. I mean, one of the reasons I stopped playing ESO is because I didn't have people to play ESO with on a regular basis anymore, and I've tried playing that game solo any number of times, and I really suck. Like I don't really consider myself to be a super accomplished gamer anyway. I can fake it a lot in LOTRO because I've got the movement assistance in combat cheat to kind of help me. Also, LOTRO, aside from War of Three Peaks area, is fairly easy for me. And yeah, ESO, I have nothing to fall back on except for my skills, which are nothing. So I kind of really suck. So we spent some time fishing. Sans actually was with me. We got through a couple of actual quests that my character's been trying to do. My Terry Adwin character is a sorcerer, not a fighter type actually. Yeah, but we took the time to fishing hole, clean out the fishing holes.
That was fun.
It's funny because I don't do fishing in LOTRO, but I will totally stop every time I see those suckers in ESO. It actually got to be kind of a sore point back when I was playing with Pineleaf and Brannick because Pine was kind of like whatever, but Brannick was like, "Can we go? Can we go? Are you done yet?" I'm fishing. There's no fish in this hole.
May- May I suggest, first of all, the delights that is a Nightblade where you can sneak around great big things. Just be careful going around corners. And
Well-
also, I totally agree with the fishing. The fishing is so much more awesome even than in LOTRO. And mind you, I've got all the titles except for the Master Angler one, which is impossible. I swear that is impossible. There's no way you can ever get that. Anyway. But yeah, you can sell the rare ones for lots of gold. I mean, more than just a little bit like in LOTRO 2. So I really like that.
Well, see, I do have a Nightblade character. I made a Sarissa, but she was like a duo with Brannick, so I probably won't pick that up. But I don't know, you've been talking about Nightblade and I kind of remember that I liked the Nightblade, so I might go back and just make a new one. I've got extra spots.
It's pretty fun.
So
Fun. Yeah.
Also, in my weird spare time, like in between here and there, I've been playing Civ 6 with not a lot to show for it. I've been banging my head against scenarios actually because I've been trying to beat that Alexander scenario where you're Alexander of Macedon and you're at war with Persia and you have to conquer every single city on the map in X number of turns. And I finally beat it on the settler difficulty, which is 60 turns. So
60
I'm trying
turns. Oh wow.
60, and that's the most turns it gives you.
Good
It goes
grief.
down. It goes down from there. So I am trying to improve my strategy for how to go about doing that, and we'll see. Like I could try another scenario, but I kind of want to perfect this one because I'm hoping that it will actually up my game in Civ, which is another game that I kind of really suck at. But when I play it with friends, it's just more fun because they make up for the stuff that I lack. And then I also
But you create quite a
updated.
good war machine.
Well, yes, it works. Well, the war machine really only works when you have the group thing because I can focus on it really well. Because I don't have to worry about science and stuff because I get boosted every time somebody discovers things. So a lot of that other stuff is taken care of. But yeah, and I updated SWOTOR and took out one of my Jedi sages for a little bit of trying to remember what I liked about the game. Probably not the right class to do that with, but I didn't really want to create yet another new character. I'd like to level up some of my little baby alts because I have a lot of little baby alts in Star Wars. Jedi Counselor is not an awful story, but it did reinforce my opinion of the fact that the voice actress for the female in particular sounds like an emotionless robot, which I guess is what you really want to go with for a Jedi, so it works. But yeah. And that was my week. Pine Leaf, how about you?
And during the week on my honor warden, I helped Jajax reunite with his brother and to deal with 3 more captains.
Yay!
Then I joined the LOTRO players group as we played some Civ 6 where I was playing Greece in an isolated part of the map. Everybody else is all in this big clump and Pine Leaf is out to the corner.
That
Aw.
usually happens to me, and then you wind up surrounded by all of the AIs.
Yes.
And then they all hate you.
Right.
That's actually how I learned really good with the War Machine because that's what initially was happening to me. Is I was Rome and I was stuck in the they were all together and I was off in the corner and then all the AIs would be around me and they'd all hate on me. So yeah, War Machine.
All right. So that's where that came from. Yes. Well, in this case, I am off in a corner here. I'm still trying to learn the game and all that stuff. And trying to learn how to play Greece on there. So I also did play a solo game in here, or at least started one. I'm 20% of the way through it, just around turn 100. And I presume you can set how long the game takes because 500 turns it looks like is the default in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only around turn 100 right now, and I am playing Vietnam all through this. And one of the things I've learned here is that when you set up a two-player map, maybe continents is not the best map to put down because apparently the whatever that group is that has whose capital city is Angry Tom is off on
Fair.
the other continent. And of course, I put all my ports on the east side and eventually found Angry Tom while sailing on this tiny little lip on the west side. The last bit of land before it wrapped around is where Angry Tom is. And of course, until I get cartography, I'm not going to be able to sail east because the westward path is closer than the eastward path, which was a bit of a surprise to me. So I got sort of have all that wrong, and so all my cities are placed wrong for facing off that little people there. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, this is the first time where I've actually did a significant solo game. So we'll see how that goes. I'm 100 turns in, and I'm just barely getting sailing done and things like that. I don't know, when do people usually start getting harbors and all that stuff coming along in that game?
It
You don't
depends
know
on what
either.
you're trying to do, actually.
Yeah.
And how close you are to the coast.
Well, I was reasonably close to the coast. I think I might have just didn't plan out my order for my sciences in order to optimize getting to the coast. Because I didn't think, because I was assuming that I was going to run into the other civilization on this continent there and didn't prioritize it until I explored the entire continent. And, well, I found 2 other city-states. That's it. Oh, well. And that was my week in gaming. Our top supporters this month is LOTRObuild.com. LOTRObuild.com is a collection of full LOTRO databases that includes an item database, a relics database, and a titles database. Also, you can use it right from your Discord server with a LOTRObuild bot. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the Nature's page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We actually received 2 emails this week. One of them was from Glenn Bolt, who sent us our new player question. But we also have a letter from Bella from Arkenstone. Does anyone like to read this epic? I'm hearing crickets.
I will try to do it justice.
Okay.
I have a puppy who is besieging me, though.
Oh.
Bella writes, "Hey all, I'm a long-time listener to the show and would like to offer a different perspective on the LI grind. I've been playing LOTRO for 4 years now and still love the game, the storylines, the views, the versatility in different classes, and so on. I've never done more Minas Tirith than I have to in order to get my 2 trait points, as I feel there is more challenging content ahead, so no Minas Tirith dailies for me. Up until Veils of Anduin, my experience is that the quest rewards and non-buffed allies can take me through the content without any big issues. I now have 4 alts at 130, Mini, Loremaster, Hunter, and Berg. None of them Ariad, 3 of them solo only. As in, all of them have actually played the content. All but the Berg have also died a lot. All of them have unlocked Minas Morgul weeklies, where about 30 minutes of gameplay distributed over 3 days gives 2,000 embers, 3 Iron shards, and a good chunk of Virtue XP, per character, plus more rep cookies and sigils than I can use. Only the Scourges require a group, and at least on Arkenstone, LFF provides what you need. So 20 times max 74 scrolls per week and character for 30-ish minutes of gameplay. 3 of them have done Floodfells and have unlocked the weekly bounties, another chunk of Virtue XP, and 300 motes per character. That is another 3 times max 74 scrolls. Now we have more than needed to max 74 1 legacy per ally. Also important, from Limlock barter currency, I can supply my next in line with perfectly usable 130 gear, both clothes and jewelry. Bound to account, so even reusable, provided you actually play the content and get the barter currency. Only one of my alts has done Elder Slade, so from the mission dailies, weeklies, I only get 500 embers and 3 max 74 scrolls or a max whatever starlet. Here comes the kicker, the stair battle, 130 only, easy to get to. Take the dwarf goat from Thorn's Hall to Anak Kerfu, get out of the halls, check the wiki on where to go, and ride to the stair for discovery in your Floodfills gear. Then do stairs tier 1 daily. It takes maybe 10 minutes and gives on average 500 embers after you've equipped what you need, plus the occasional Amphilis scroll. Look for calls in LFF or put out a call yourself. No one checks your stats for tier 1, so don't be shy. A daily stair gives on average 3,500 embers per week, aka 35 times max 74 scrolls, per character. As all drops and stairs are fellowship tradable, you can even help a friend. Said friend does need to, you guessed it, play the game and do the stairs instance together with you for you to be able to help them. If they do, they get on average 1,000 embers for 10 minutes in disenchantable drops, yours and theirs. I mean, I actually think it is easy to get my allies up to 74, which is a decent level. Not top-notch, but enough to kill things before they kill you. As for the non-nerfed scrolls, featured instant school every 6th week on all and every character that can get through it. Slower grind, definitely, but far from impossible. And it's a very quick run. And the starlets, I have still to learn Reiko Throne, and until then I am limited to festivals and beer runs. But Reiko Throne are always there if I decide to play the game instead of waiting for festivals. Lastly, a side note, as I have heard complaints about the cost of the Elder Slate expansion. It's available for $20. I have no idea what a cinema ticket costs in the US, but who can go to the cinema anyway, pandemic and all? And how many hours of fun or challenge do you get for a cinema ticket compared to an expansion like Elder Slade? Those that complain that Elder Slade is a small area have probably not done the Warzone. That one really puts your skills to the test. Yeah. In Sweden, we have a saying, if you don't vote, you are not allowed to complain. I would like to adapt it a bit. If you don't play the content once, you are not allowed to complain. So to all LOTRO players out there, just play the game. The first character to 130 is hard, but how much fun would it be if there were no challenges? And once you have one at 130 that has actually done the content, everything gets easier. Kindly, Bella on Arkenstone.
Thank you, Sans. If you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@lotraplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @Players Alliance, Lotra Players @Lotra Players, Arendis @Arendis, Panifit, Panifit, Sense Winda, Sense Winda, Terry Edwin Terry Edwin, Guarendis Guarendis, and Calipathian @Calipathian. The Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotra Players News. You can support our shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is 5 Niggles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.